y'all how much things have really took off and grown. And this is my greenhouse, but we took the plastic off a while back, and we got a shade cloth over it now. And everything in here is doing really good, keeping the sun off the cold weather plants and my lettuces and my herbs and stuff, so they're looking really good. But also, this is a place that kind of made for my little granddaughter. She's got some little tomato plants and stuff in there. But I just want to show y'all my broccoli. Up here I've got some herbs. I plan on planting some more up in these pots. I got sweet Italian basil in there. My dill's really growing. And I started some more parsley in here. And up here in this hanging pot I've got cilantro. Right down here is my broccoli. And I'll show y'all. I've got some little broccoli. I'm really excited. It's really growing in here really good because I'm keeping the heat off of it. I'm keeping the sun from just bearing down and getting the plants too hot, because what they'll do is they'll bolt before they make broccoli. And that's what happens here in Arkansas, because it will go from cold to hot in about a second, and that's when our stuff starts going downhill, our cold weather plants. And there's my kale. I'm fixing to pick my kale. I'm fixing to cut it. There's some more kale. I'm going to cut it because I'm going to get it cleaned up, and that'll be in my and Danny's lunch this week. Come over here and I've got some red leaf romaine lettuce. I'll be cutting that this week too, washing it for our lunches and our suppers. And I'll be cutting some herbs here. Different herbs. I got thyme, I got basil, I've got Thai basil, oregano. Putting some of that in my salads. And I've got some chard coming up. And I planted some little cherry tomatoes down here for my little granddaughter. And that one down there, I'm going to have to trim them lower leaves back because they're turning yellow. But everything in this greenhouse is doing really good. And I got spinach back there in the corner underneath that plastic bin. I got a head of cabbage at the end, but it's all doing really good in here right now because, like I said, I'm keeping it cool, keeping the sun from just direct hitting it. So all that's looking good. Our garlic is really growing still. Getting really tall and big. I've got a few onions down here at the end of the garlic bed. They took off. Now, most of my onions that I planted got bit, but they're coming back. So maybe it'll all be okay. I've got some raspberry. Well, they look like sticks, but maybe next year they'll come back. Here is my mint garden. And you can see it's all coming back. I got chocolate mint, sweet mint, spearmint. I've got all kinds of mint coming back up. It's a coming. I need to plant some flowers back here. My purple eye, black eye peas are coming up real good. They're kind of hard to see. but they're coming up all the way down through here. Can't see all of them, but they are coming up good. Underneath this little cage is my beets. They're doing kind of slow this year. You can see my peas coming up. I got a few leeks in here. This one right here is really getting big. I need to pull it pretty soon and eat it. But my little onions that I planted later are doing real good. My butterfly bush has come out. That thing was huge. I don't know if I remember it from last year, but it's huge. But we cut it back, but it's coming back. Right back there in the corner, I got my sage plant. And I'm wanting to show Tammy from Little Jordan Farm. She sent me some loofah seeds, and I want her to see that they're coming up. And I'm excited. I've never grown loofah before, but they're coming up right down through there. And I want them to climb this fence here. But this is where I grow my birdhouse gourds. But this year I'm going to do loofah. And then I plant a bunch of flowers in here, flower seeds. So Tammy, I'm really proud of these seeds. Now at the end, this is the very end of my green bean tomato bed. And I've got some medicinal herbs, and I've got a ton of flower seeds in here. And if they all come up, and they're trying to, this thing will be full. Bed I planted nothing but wildflowers in. And you can't really even see all of them because they're so tiny. But I mean, I broadcasted 2 big boxes in there, and they are coming up, and I'm so excited because I love wildflowers, and I wanted just a bed of wildflowers. So hopefully they're going to all come up and be really pretty. So this is going around the side of my house to the front of the house. And this is my water barrel, and it catches a lot of rainwater coming off the roof. And I just planted 2, these are seedless grapes, and I forget the name of them. But I'm hoping that they'll make it, and I'm hoping to train them to go up across the front of my porch, up on these beans. I think it'd look good. This right here is my blueberries, and there's some tame blackberries that I stuck in there too. But the blueberries are really doing good. They're going to put off a lot of blueberries this year. I'm really, really happy with the way things are looking. They had a lot of blooms on them. They're making several blueberries. And my tame blackberries seem to be blooming too. So maybe we'll get some pretty good berries this year. I've also got berries planted in the back, in the garden, in the potager, but they're not this big yet. They still got a lot of growing to do. I just wanted to have enough berry plants planted around the house, so eventually I'll have enough where I can get enough berries to put up every year, hopefully. But they look good and healthy. This right here is just a flower garden out kind of to the side in front of the house. And you couldn't grow nothing here. It's nothing but rock and clay. But Danny put down several inches of wood chips. And right now you can plant anything in it and it grows. So it's a good thing. So I've done some companion planting in this bed right here. And these are my contender bush green beans, and they've come up really good. I would say probably just about every seed I planted come up. I planted them pretty thick. So the outside are my beans. Then I got marigolds. Then I've got my tomato plants. And on the other side of the panel, I've got onions. Now, legumes are a good cover crop when you're getting into the fall to plant any kind of beans. Your green bean plants are going to put a lot of nitrogen into the soil. So That's why I like planting, companion planting like this. And then my marigolds are good. They put off a scent. Y'all know, if you've smelt marigolds, they have a distinctive smell. And they're real good to ward off a lot of different insects that will get on your bean plants and your tomato plants. And of course my onions on the other side, they're doing really good. So this bed is doing very well so far. I just planted my tomato plants probably a little less than a week, and they were little tomato plants, and I planted them pretty deep. But I think all this, when you companion plant like this, I mean, each plant is going to help provide for another plant in its own way. So your legumes are your best bet for putting a lot of nitrogen into your soil. Now, I'm not kidding you. Now, this is a mineral trough. I want you to look how big this mullein plant is. I dug this up. Of course, we live out in the middle of the woods, so in this area, there's a lot of mullein plants. And I dug this thing up when it was a little bitty thing and stuck it in this mineral trough. And here's some more mineral troughs. You can see I've got cabbage and stuff planted in them. So, just to give you an idea of the mineral troughs, and that's cabbage. And you come over here and that's that's the mullein plant. It's huge. And I'm going to have to start harvesting a lot of this. And I know it should bloom. And I don't know if I need to wait till it blooms or not. But it sure is getting big. The beets are coming up pretty good. They were kind of spotty this year. I was hoping to get a better crop of beets, but they're coming up because Mr. Brown and I love pickled beets. And beets are really, really good for you. The carrots are really growing, looking really good. My chives are getting big. I need to harvest some of those. But the carrots are doing good. Sunflowers in the back are growing, and I just recently, a couple days, planted some more sunflowers in between the ones that didn't come up. And these right here are some heirloom beans that they're just kind of a trial bean that I'm trying just to see how they make and see what they taste like. So I just stuck them over here to see how well they grow, and they did do pretty good. So I'm just going to wait for them to make some and see what they're like, see if I like them. This is Lori from Whippoorwill Holler.